This is definitely the wildest story you've ever heard. A coalition of 6 male lions massacred over 100 of their kind, eating their cubs and claiming their harem, establishing an empire under the 6 brothers' rule. It sounds unbelievable, but this is a real event that happened in the Sabi Sands Reserve in South Africa. Let me explain this legendary story for you. In this year, the Sparta Pride added 10 cubs, 5 of which are the protagonists of today's story. The young cubs are still adorable, and no one knows that in a few years, they will become the most brutal lion pride on the grassland. For now, they have the protection of their father, the Lion King, and they spend their happiest childhood days playing and frolicking. The youngest cub is named Oddhead, always accompanied by Curlytail. Oddhead has had a hint of a king's temperament since he was young, being fierce, combative, and particularly bold, not afraid to steal food from the Lion King's mouth or even take a big slap from him. Curlytail likes to follow Oddhead, always looking up to him. Several other young lions are Rast and Jun Nan, and Little Scar. Now they are 6 months old. Already starting to learn adult lions' hunting skills. But for now, they can only bully the flathead. In the future, they will encounter many dangerous opponents. Like this giraffe. Long neck, long legs. Clearly not a vegetarian. The lion's shoulder height is not even as tall as its neck. One kick from it and the lion is done for. But this giant prey is worth the risk for the lion pride. The lionesses launch the first attack. The giraffe doesn't back down. Continuing its deadly kicks. The lionesses take turns to exhaust it. But the giraffe cannot escape death. A 1,300-kilogram giraffe. The Sparta lion pride won't worry about food for days. The most deadly prey isn't the giraffe, but these buffaloes. Don't underestimate these old bulls. A herd of buffaloes has a significant advantage. If it comes to a head-on collision, I'm afraid the lion pride would be crushed by them. The lion pride targets a lone buffalo and attacks, managing to bring the prey down. But the buffalo's support arrives too quickly. The rest of the herd rushes in. The lions scatter in fear. There's no choice, the buffaloes have the numbers. Each buffalo weighs close to a ton. Being rammed by one would mean a meal for the lions. This lion is so unfortunate, being scared up a tree. Though it compromises the lion's dignity, it's better than being trampled to death by the buffalo herd. The lion is in a pitiable state, thrown into the air and spinning before hitting the ground. When the lion falls, the buffalo uses its sharp horns to pierce it. This battle is devastating, causing significant harm to the lion pride. Fortunately, all 5 of these young lions survived. One day, a male lion intruded into their territory. Lions value bloodlines, and when invading a new pride, they typically kill all the cubs. Against all expectations, the lion did not attack the pride's young ones, and the pride welcomed him. It turned out he was a lost sibling from the Sparta Pride, giving the 5 brothers an additional elder sibling. Thus, the 6 lion gang was officially formed. Time flew by, and the young lions were about to face their first significant challenge in life. The Pride King expelled them from the Pride after they had spent a peaceful childhood. It was time for them to establish their own territories. The outside world held various dangers awaiting them. For young male lions leaving the Pride, the mortality rate was as high as 90%. How would they handle it? On a dark and stormy night, this lion was discussing life with a lioness when he was interrupted. It was quite rude, especially considering they were brothers. The lioness was no longer a factor, and the mating lion started fighting unexpectedly. Unable to decide the order of engagement, the heated argument turned into a furious fight. Surprisingly, the fighting lions cruelly killed the lioness and made her their dinner. This was truly destroying something you couldn't have. If you talk about cruelty, it's nothing compared to you wolves. Besides the struggle for mating rights, these brothers got along quite well, working together, sharing the hunt. Former formidable opponents, the buffaloes and giraffes, have become their defeated foes. Having their fill, they start to vie for the territories of other male lions. Wherever they go, there are brutal battles. They drive away the original male lions, taking over the territory. The 6 brothers also have to take over the original pride of lionesses. The male lions are not willing to be fathers to someone else's cubs. For these lion cubs, disaster strikes. Some lionesses try to protect their cubs. But to no avail. These incooperative lionesses also meet the same fate. In the end, all the young lion cubs in this territory are ruthlessly killed. The cruelest of all is Freak, making sure every inch of the land is searched to ensure no survivors. The young lions are either bitten to death or eaten. We, from a human perspective, understand this as the law of nature. But such scenes are still heart-wrenching. The hegemony of the 6 lion gang is established. They can now begin to propagate their own offspring. This process inevitably leads to conflicts. And thus, the earlier scene unfolds again. The struggle for mating rights, resulting in innocent lionesses being brutally attacked. Lionesses are bitten to death, torn apart limb by limb. The brutal behavior of the 6 brothers, even in the animal kingdom, is extraordinary. In the days to come, this behavior of seizing territory and dominating prides continues. Many prides in Sabi Sands have been decimated by them. In just a year's time, they have killed at least over 100 lions. The empire of the 6 lion gang slowly rises. But internal conflicts arise within them. Who will be the leader? For lions, this is a serious issue. Freak once again reveals his true nature, intimidating and picking fights with the other brothers. No doubt, it wants to become the king. But the path to kingship is not so easy. The biggest lion among the brothers, Markuru, is the obstacle. Look at Markuru with a dignified appearance. Just looking at him is more impressive than Freak. He is the true leader. Although Freak is unwilling to submit to others. But now it can only wait patiently for the right moment. At that time, the 6 lion gang was invincible. They continued to expand their territory, up to 70,000 hectares. They ruled most of Sabi Sands. They even had over 8 prides in their harem. Even so, they were still not satisfied. And Freak's ambition was not content with being just the Lion King's assistant. Internal conflicts arose. Freak and Markuru fought. Markuru still came out on top. Freak was not willing to accept defeat. Continuing to stay there was embarrassing, so they decided to split up. Thus, the 6 lion gang split from then on. Tail and Freak had an extraordinary bond. It was willing to do anything for Freak, so it left with Freak. They went on to rule the central and northern parts of the original territory. The remaining 4 lions continued to rule the western area. This brought a brief period of peace. Tail and Freak also began to focus on raising their offspring. There were more and more young lions. Being a good father is not easy either, but Markuru is a rare good father. He is very tolerant of the young lions. Even if the cubs mess with his dignified appearance, he doesn't get angry. To ensure the safety of the cubs and the pride of lionesses, he also has a major responsibility, which is to patrol the territory. The territory is too large, making it difficult. Markuru has to be out for a week, to patrol the territory thoroughly, but he is used to this work, letting his brothers lie flat at home. He often goes to patrol alone. Compared to Markuru, Freak and Tail face greater threats. Around their territory, some stray lions from outside are watching covetously. Brothers pledged to defend it to the death. Most of them were driven away by them. Of course, there are some tough ones too. Like these 5 brothers. Danger slowly approaches Freak and Tail's territory. As the saying goes, it is easy to win the throne but difficult to maintain it. The fierce and invincible 6 lion gang has slaughtered hundreds of the same kind. The area under its control extends to as much as 70,000 square kilometers. However, with the emergence of internal conflicts, the 6 lion gang split into 2. And danger followed suit. These 5 male lions are the invaders. They are gradually approaching from the south with a faint aura. Their target is precisely the strange head and the curled tail that split from the 6 lion gang. These 5 brothers want to occupy their territory and the mother lion group. The invaders arrived. And the strange head and the curled tail immediately came out to fight. They have never fought such a fierce battle before. But they overlooked one thing. This time, there were 5 young and strong male lions as the invaders. War broke out at the touch of a button. The strange head and the curled tail first launched an attack on one of the male lions. This lion was chased dozens of meters away. And was still overturned by them. The strange head firmly bit its back. Seizing the opportunity, The curled tail directly went for a bite on its younger brother. Even through the screen, I could feel how much it hurt. Amidst the melee, this young lion bit the strange head's ear, almost tearing it off. The curled tail hurried to help the strange head out, madly tearing and biting the invader's younger brother, directly performing a neutering operation for it. Victory belonged to the two brothers. They returned to their territory to recuperate. The intruder can only lie aside and slowly wait to die. But their injuries are not light either. Curly Tail's right paw was bitten through. The rest of the night's intruders came for revenge. The injured monsters and Curly Tail are in bad shape this time. This fight to the death began in the night. These 4 male lions rubbed their curly tails directly on the ground. Curly Tail was surrounded by them and bitten fiercely. It's like the lions are trying to dismember it. The sound of the spine being bitten off. You can hear it from far away. This scene is so terrible. Even the photography team was overwhelmed. At this time, the good brother monster appeared. It attempts to attack these intruders to help Capricorn escape. But it doesn't help. The other party has the advantage in quantity. The monster who failed to rescue his brothers could only escape with his tail between his legs. The 4 brothers started to hunt down the monster again. Curly Tail's injury is too serious. But the 4 brothers have no intention of letting it go. They didn't catch the monster. So I returned it and had to close the tail. Curly Tail has no strength left to resist. I can only lie there and let them torture me. The lion with the mane has died. The next day its carcass was shared by hyenas and jackals. Its once proud lion pride was also taken away by the hyenas. Seeing this, I couldn't help but sigh. The once vigorous lion now reduced to mere bones. This is the cruelty of nature. The best brother is gone. The territory is now controlled by invaders. The wounded odd head headed west. How desolate its figure at this moment. It has no choice. Alone it can't defend its territory. It wants to return to the lion pride of its brothers. But will it be so easy after all the trouble before? Unexpectedly. Although Markuru was not pleased to see its return. The other 3 brothers were willing to accept it. But Oddhead showed no gratitude. Just a few days after its return, it began to massacre the young lions in the pride. Even more unbelievable, its brothers showed no reaction. Oddhead slowly became the new Lion King of the Western Territory, opposing the previous invaders. During this time, Jun Nan and Rast went missing, presumably also slaughtered by the 4 hostile male lions. The once 6 lion gang now only has 3 left: Markuru, Oddhead, and Little Scar. Their situation has become even more difficult. Hostile forces are rising, and they are getting older. The inevitable shift of power is approaching. And that day has finally arrived. Another invading troop of 5 male lions came to their territory. Even though they were old, the former White King was still determined to defend his territory to the death. Oddhead was heavily injured, its spine torn with a hole. Now it lay crippled on the ground, but the invaders showed no mercy. They surrounded Oddhead, tearing and biting at it. Launching fierce attacks for 15 seconds, then stepping back to rest for a while, repeating this merciless process. Even in such a state, Oddhead did not bow down as a defeated dog. Despite its severe injuries, it continued to confront them. But the next day, Oddhead breathed its last breath. Its death marking the end of an era. With only Markuru and Little Scar left of the Brotherhood. Even they were now past their prime. Being old and weak, they no longer had the strength to fight other male lions. They had no choice but to leave the Sabi Sands. In reality, lions share many similarities with humans. They have conflicts, wars, and familial honor. They also possess touching familial bonds. When we observe the lion pride from a human perspective, we are shaken, amazed, and filled with sorrow. But survival in the natural world is never easy. How fortunate we are to be born as humans. Let's hope everyone loves life and protects the environment. Today's video ends here. If possible, please give the editor a free follow.